What's up YouTube, Casey this side and welcome back to another video on my channel. So today we're going to be discussing the best formations and custom tactics in FC26 that you guys can use. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and smash a like. Let me just start off by saying there is no specific best formations and custom tactics that are suited to everyone's needs in this game. You have to try a plethora of options and a lot of formations in order to suit your game style. Now I'll be discussing three formations and I'm going to be starting off with my personal favorite, the 4-2-3-1 wide. In the build-up style, I've kept it on balance. You can always go with counter and also go with short passing, but since I like to play the through balls towards my wingers, I really like to keep it on balanced. And you can keep the defensive approach high or balanced depending on the position you're in the game, right? For example, you're leading like 3-2 or 4-2 and you want to keep the ball, you want to keep enough possession. So I would recommend you guys to go for balance, or you can also, for example, you're losing like 4-2 or 5-2 or something and you need to come back. You can always go for the counter and also go in extreme, or maybe just adjust this to around 80 or 75 or something like that. I like to keep it on balanced and high, and this is in my opinion the most balanced formation after the patch. Coming to the player roles, I like to keep my goalkeeper on goalkeeper defend. You can always try sweeper keeper as well as ball playing keeper, but in my opinion, the back line is supposed to be a little deep, so I like to keep it that way. The defender defend is probably the best player roles that you can go for your CBs. You can always go for ball playing keeper as well, but again, why do you need your centre back to go a little further? Then there's no point of it, right? Coming to the full backs, now this is going to be totally personal preference. Some people like it on balance and some people like it on defend. I personally like it on defend because that way my backline is solid and it's deep enough. So whenever I'm losing the ball with my wingers, I'm not suspicious to a counter attack and my backline is there to get the ball again. Now coming to the most important area of the pitch, this is where you make or break the game in this formation. Now there are two types of players that you can go for. For example, if you have a player like Gravenberch, you can go for the holding, defend or ball winning. That is crazy in my opinion because they sit back and win the ball and that's their job. But there is no help going forward. Now if you have a player like Patri or someone like that who's very good at defending but can also go forward, you can always go in for the deep lying playmaker, defend. Now, if you like some of your players to be a little attacking, like for example, you have a CDM like Mariona, you can always go for the DLP roaming. I personally keep both my CDM since they're good at keeping the ball, stealing the ball and everything. They have 80 above stats almost everywhere. So I like to keep them at deep lying playmaker build up. I have tried to play the cam as a shadow striker with a player who had very immaculate dribbling and good shooting, someone like Musiala. I have also tried playing as a classic 10. I tried Lovell there and I also have tried the playmaker. In my opinion, the most complete way to have the most use out of a cam who can also defend, like who has defending stats around like 60 or something, best way to make use of it is by having them at playmaker. I'll show you the difference. Mariona is a playmaker right now, and if you can see, she's very close to everyone on the pitch and she acts as a catalyst. Even when you lose the ball up top, you can always go in and win the ball with her, and while creating certain attacks, you're gonna have her in the middle of every single wear. So if you decide to play her as a shadow striker, she is really up top and she's going to be assisting your striker and she'll be acting as a second striker. But again, you can play her there as well because she does everything really well. But if you have someone like, let's say, maybe Litmanen who has very good shooting or something like that, I'd suggest you to go for a shadow striker. Again, both of them work perfectly well. It totally depends on your playstyle. I like it on playmaker, like I said. And the striker is going to be on advanced forward. You can go two ways about it when it comes to the left mid and the right mid. One of them can be on inside forward and one of them can be a wide playmaker. It totally depends if you like one side to be a little open so that you can cut in from there. And I like it to be on inside forward because they all score. Like for example, Kvaratskhelia has 5-star, so he can score with either foot, so he's good on the left mid as well. And as Williams, he's a right-footed player, but again, he has 5-star weak foot as well. So both of them work perfectly as inside forwards. Now the second tactic that I'm going to be discussing is going to be the 4-5-1, the flat variation. The build-up style here is going to be balanced and the defensive approach is going to be anywhere around like the 60 to 65 mark. 62 works the best for me. Let me just start by saying this is probably the best formation if you really love making those triangles from the left and the right hand side and want to do some insane tiki-taka play. Defenders, it's not going to change, but for the full backs, I'm going to keep them on balance here because obviously I will need some support as I'll be creating certain triangles from left to right. And Your center mid is going to be the anchor of the team. You would want to keep him on either holding ball winning, or you would like to keep him on deep lying playmaker defend. He has to stay back in order to win the ball and unleash those counter attacks. Now, for this formation to work perfectly well, you have to have one centre mid who is attacking and one centre mid who can do it all. A perfect box to box example could be someone like De Jong or maybe Barella or some people like that. A playmaker, Mariona is a very good option, and also players like Aitana Bonmati, Alexia Putellas, Zico, and players like that. And the reason we're going to be playing one player on box to box is because he'll be helping De Jong or the deep lying playmaker defend in choice to get the ball back and release certain counter attacks and play those tiki taka passes, because our striker is going to be on false line and she's going to be dropping a little behind. She's going to be playing that prime Barca Messi role, just to make it easy for you guys to understand. And this formation plays really well, and it's one of the best defensively. And your left mid and the right mid are going to be on inside forward. Do make sure that when you're attacking with the ball and you're keeping the ball and have a little bit of possession, you have to have a lot of triggers. You have to keep spamming L1 again and again in order for players to make runs. Otherwise, they'll be sitting back most of the times. And again, if you lose the ball, this formation is pretty tight and very uptight so that you do not concede so many goals. I like this formation when I'm like 2 goals up and I want to clinch out the game and win and just keep possession or something like that. Because if you have seen my previous videos, I'm more of a tiki-taka player. And the 4-5-1 flat serves my purposes perfectly well. Now, you will find yourself in moments when you go up higher in divisions that you will be losing a game that is 2-0 or 3-0 or something like that. And you would need a formation that attacks like insane. And in my opinion, the 4-4-1-1 is very, very similar to the 4-2-3-1. But again, this one has centre mids rather than CDMs. So they're a little more up the field so that it helps you in attacks. When I'm 2-0 down, I use the 4-4-1-1. My build-up style is going to be counter, and my defensive approach is going to be around the 75 mark. Moving on to the player roles, the centre backs are going to be on defender defend. Nothing changes there. One of my full backs, who is a little bit better in attacking, is going to be on wing back plus. And you can always go in for support or maybe balance. That totally depends on you. I totally like it to be on balance. Otherwise, the right back is going to be totally towards the midfield as well. And I don't like the cluttered midfield feeling at all. Even though you're trying to win the ball and go on counter attacks from the very first minute, one of your centre mid has to act as an anchor for the team. Otherwise, your team will be so up the field and they all will be in different positions here or there, since you'll be triggering L1 runs and making L1 passes and everything. It is going to be so easy for your opponent to score goals. So one of the centre mids is going to be on holding ball winning. The other one is going to be on deep lying playmaker build-up. That works best. I've tried this. I got around 9 or 10 wins when I was playing this in Foot Champs. And again, the left mid and the right mid are going to be on inside forward. The only change that we're making here is letting our Cam act as a shadow striker or a second striker rather than being a playmaker. If you see this carefully, your team is going to be really high up the field and it's going to be really easy for you. Again, I use this as an aggressive 4-4-1-1 when I'm losing games. Let me just repeat what I said in the start. There is no specific formation that can do it all. You have to try a lot of formations and you have to try a lot of players. In my opinion, you should always go for centre mids that have 75 plus everywhere on the field. Defensive, attacking, dribbling, passing, everywhere. And your wingers should have the 5-star weak foot along with 4-star skills with great dribbling, because they are going to be unleashing those counter attacks and playing those through balls to your strikers or your cams, and that is what's going to help you score more goals. Strikers should have playstyles like the low driven shot or the finesse shot. Your cams should have really high dribbling and really high passing, and exceptional playstyles like the incisive or the ping pass. They really work well. Mariona is a great example. The new Scream card is also maybe coming up with the incisive pass. The new Jude Bellingham with the incisive pass is great as well. Wirtz is a very good example. And your fullback should be very high in defending and pace. I hope you guys like the video. I'm going to be seeing you guys very soon for the Foot Champs run and other highlights. Take care, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now is your time.